Now this is a story all about how my opponent's left got flipped upside down, and I like to take a turn, give it some time. I'll tell you how I became the Fairy of Alfheim. Welcome back to Haven. I'm here with
A tier slash Wilfred. I'm rolling around at the speed of sound.
and we have
This is the
Hold up 1 minute. I am so sorry for my voice there. My voice in this video was horrible, so I apologize and we'll make sure it's good for the next video. Hope you guys enjoy.
I am playing the Speed of Sound deck against Squeegee or Luigi, who is going to be running the ALO or Alpine deck.
Alfheim.
it's a very underrated deck. I feel like I don't think anyone's playing this deck or know about Leafa.
Or even know how to say Alfheim.
That took a long time to figure that. That took a lot of Google searching to do that. But yeah. We're just shedding some light on this different blue deck. Because everyone's all about Kyito and Asuna.
What does it even do?
Yeah, it was also one of the cheaper blue decks to build.
Makes sense.
So you could tell everyone I am building a blue deck, but they wouldn't know which blue deck
Yeah.
you're building.
Play some head games. I'm playing blue SAO.
Yes.
Oh shit. Then you play Leafa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the worst one.
So yeah,
I don't
Leafa.
know, guys.
Go ahead.
I think this deck has potential. The amount of things it can do, which Adrian is going to get into a little bit, can do a lot.
Yeah.
I think it has potential to throw you off, and you're like, what does this card do? And then, it's like meh.
It's gonna be a lot of sequencing for this dude, because the Leafa generally is it tries to make your cards unblockable, or push your opponent's cards to above a certain threshold to then be able to make it unblockable. Sorry.
Yes, and
Yeah, to get the hit.
Because Leafa's normally it's like if you're less than 35 you can't be blocked, but Leafa's different. Its great effect is if you have five or more cards in hand, your opponent's cards cannot block. Your opponent's cards that are 4,000 or higher cannot block this card. So it's very different than you generally have. But there's ways in this deck that can boost your opponent's BP to either 4,000 or above. Which you'll probably see. You'll definitely see during this game.
yeah, so there are some cases where, for example, in this case, I have a Sonic 3K, which can be bumped to a 4K if I remove 3 cards from my sideline. But I wouldn't want to do that all the time because, again, what the ALO deck can do is increase it to 4K on his turn, and then I won't be able to block with it because it becomes a 4K.
There's a lot of managing like your BPs for sure.
And another good thing about this deck is you can play a combo and a slew of decks with one deck because it has a lot of multiple card plays using one deck. So, for example, the Asuna that was just played on board requires 2 AP. You search for cards for an ALO affinity, and then you can play an ALO affinity active on field, which is really great.
No, it's not active. You don't play it active. You just have to.
No, you played active.
It's set to active.
What's it?
Onto your front line, yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I am a mistake. Yeah, actually, it's kind of like Nia, because Nia does that too. He searches, and then she gets to play
The
a
Asuna
card.
searches,
Yeah.
and then plays. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, as long as you have the required, as long as it's an ALO affinity and it's 1 AP cost.
Yeah.
Those are your
And
only
you
like
have the required
requirements.
energy.
And
Weird.
then we have a Leafa raid on board. A Leafa raid, as Adrian explained, is good for bouncing your ALO cards off the field. So you particularly want to have cards on your field that have vent plate effects that you can bounce back into your hand. Which in this case, the Yui would be good because she helps you draw one, trash one, which is what I think Luigi's gonna do.
Yeah, that's what it's
See, that's-
coming back to like what Div said about like it has the combo of playing a bunch of cards out, like cheap cost cards out, is because just Leafa's main is like you can bounce the card back so you can play it again. So you want to have a lot of the cards on board to be able to bounce.
And the Eugene there is 4K when you have 5 cards in hand, otherwise it's 35 too.
I think it's all turns, right? No, it's only during your
no,
turn.
it's during your
Okay.
turn.
So it's a 35 on your opponent's turn.
Interesting.
it's a quick 2 life. I think he takes 3 life, so 2 lives here from my end. And everyone knows how Sonic works. You play a bunch of cards on board, and then you use Sonic to swap around a little bit. But sideline management is important because they can only swap if you have 3 or less in your sideline.
Speed.
But we're not talking about Sonic here. We're talking about.
Sorry, just with the Leafa too, by the
Yeah.
way. Her active has to be in the front line too. So you can't just do it anywhere. But you can return any card. And then to the active character has to be in, or the character you want to become switch to active and give it 1,000 has to be in ALO. So you can essentially like raid a different card and get that raid card back if you want, and then raid again.
I think I used a special on the Eugene here. I should have used it on the Leafa. I
Eugene.
think would have been a.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, questionable. I was like, what?
Oh wait, no, Leafa too.
Yes, it didn't matter.
I mean, 2 Leafas more dangerous than 1, I guess.
Well, at least one leaf is gone. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought you were like double special or something to get rid of both Eugene and Leafa, but I guess not. That's the main target of your deck. You want to get rid of that Leafa.
I feel like there's a lot of energy management with Leafa because you're bouncing cards, right?
Yeah, you have to be careful. But when you
Yeah,
bounce.
be careful you don't bounce like something too
Mhm.
energy or something like that, and you're screwed.
So this UE SR is pretty cool because she has one of 2 effects to choose from. Either you can play a 2-cost rested anywhere on your field, or you can look at the top 2 cards of your deck, take 1, reveal and take 1, and then put the rest at the bottom. So it's a good searcher, but also a good play on the field. I always like cards that have 2 to choose from, depending on the situation.
Yeah, this definitely helps like their goal of building their board quick so you can bounce stuff.
This is a 4-cost Kyito, which you can play another cost, 3 cost or less for free. So he plays the UE here again to go for a search and picks out another Kyito. So you can see the potential here because you could play the 4-2 Asuna, to play the Kyito for free, to play the UE SR for free,
Yeah.
to play a Leafa in the bottom for free. So you could play 4 cards with 2.
Like he started this turn with 44 cards on board, and now he had 4 and he raided it, and he had an extra AP to raid. Like that's kind of nuts. And yeah, and then you can bounce a card to active a card too and give it 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is a very interesting choice to run Kyito in this, and the reason why it works is because of the bird cage Asuna at the back. So her ability, she cannot be moved to the front. So if you have an Asuna in the back, Kyito does gain the double attack.
yeah, if you like it counters the if they play Goddess, you can't move that Asuna. He's forever stuck in the energy line.
And he has 5 attacks this turn when he only had 4 cards on board
Yeah.
at the end start of the turn.
Yeah. Like even next turn, if the
Yeah,
Kirito
that's
somehow survives, he could bounce it. If he found another Kirito, he has another Kirito we saw before, and he can just like raid again for another double attack. The double attack's only when played, right?
When played, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just do it again next turn. So that combo potential in this deck is actually kind of scary.
It's about seeing your pieces.
But I guess yeah, exactly. About finding them is
I think it's always about
Consistent.
seeing your pieces.
we don't know about the consistency.
I know. Which Squeegee did find his pieces very well in this game, from the looks of it.
Nope.
So I do special the Kyito, which again I think I should have special.
Nope,
the
no, it doesn't
Leafa.
matter.
You did both.
Oh, there you go. I did. I was like, get them out
I
of
guess
here.
this is where you did the double special.
Oh, bad guy.
So, Then I tapped to play the Sonic and play the Sonic from sideline. So I pulled up my board pretty quickly too. I'm deciding.
Yeah, speed does that too pretty well as well.
Remove.
I activated main to remove 3 to draw 1 because my sideline was big. I removed 3 again to make it a 4K, which is the other one. And I still have 4, so I cannot unfortunately do the swap, but I don't have a raid Sonic on board, so it wouldn't really matter at this point, but I was just managing my
Yeah.
sideline.
I think it's just for future turns when you don't have, because like you don't want to keep doing it. You want to have it for next turn that you have 3 or less. When
Finds
another
another Leafa
2 Leafa raids in life.
and the Kyito raid. Wow.
Curious.
And Jesus.
That's what you say, guys. Union Arena is a high rollers game. You never know.
All
Yeah.
about luck.
I think the only weakness of this blue deck is it doesn't have 4K blockers.
Yeah. And this is one of the most important cards of this set, which is World Tree. World Tree comes in active, and you can bounce an ELO character to give a character 1,000 plus cannot be blocked by a 3K or more.
Oh no, it's not a. I think it's a sidecar, so it doesn't have
Sidecar.
BP.
Yeah.
It just gives 1,000 to either your
Something.
opponent or your
Yeah.
card. Yeah, this is how you get Leafa's effect to go off of on those 3Ks. You're gonna bump them to 4Ks and they can't block now.
I think this is what he did. He bumped up my Sonic 3K to a 4K.
Because you're 3K, yeah, 3K, 3K, 4K, 4K.
Swings 4K.
Yeah, so it's like sequencing is also when you're like sequencing your attacks properly, it would also be very important to think about.
I cannot block this, so I do get a raid, which is good. And I'm just checking if I should raid here. And I think I will raid it in the front,
Yeah,
which
but-
I think I shouldn't have done there, but
Yeah. You could have probably just rated over one of your other frontline ones, not the one in the back.
yeah.
Wait, why couldn't you have blocked that other one?
Because it cannot be blocked by 4K or more.
Does that one have four?
No, that's only
I don't
Leafa.
think so.
Leafa. The Kyito.
That's
I
only
think,
Leafa. The Kyito didn't have that.
No.
Kyito's just the when played, then
Yeah.
You
No,
can
the
play
World
it.
Tree gives it. The World Tree gives it.
World Tree
That is-
only gives you
I thought
1k.
it just gives you 1K.
Yeah, it only gives 1k.
I think you just didn't want to
No, I
block
might
for
have-
some reason.
I think I didn't want to block it.
Which is fine. Mm-hmm.
And then
No.
no, you're not allowed to speak.
Oh yeah, you have the borrows. Yeah, you have your opponent. You are equal to 4 life, so you get all the bring the borrows up for 4 costs instead of 6. And you spend an
And I
AP to
think I
pop.
pay 1 AP to the
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately, you didn't have a speed in the back to be able to attack.
Oh, that's a tough one. 4 life? I mean, 3 life.
And you
and this has impact.
Yeah.
yeah, because you know, I think only the Kyito is 4K. Like, it can only. I don't think you can block. Yeah, I think you bumped into 4K. Did you bump into 4K?
The Sonic?
Yeah.
I think I did.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, how many raids are in his life?
Yeah,
I know.
That's why he blocked. That's why he blocked both of them. Because I did bump into 4K.
Yeah, so this is like the moment here, like, because this one doesn't have any kind of impact, so it relies on this Leafa to make things not be able to block, or the World Tree, sorry, to make it 4K, so he can't be blocked by
Something can't
anything
block.
4K or higher.
That, yeah. Yep, raid. Layout.
Use the World Tree. I think bounce with you back to hand and make my 3K into a 4K.
Yeah. So now everything's 4K on them.
So I cannot block this attack.
Yeah. And then you can also bounce to active the Kirito.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess playing against this deck, you kind of want a 3K on the board,
Or something lower.
or like
Yeah.
multiple 3Ks on the board just to block. Because you have to be afraid of impact for this deck. Yep, fortunately everyone's 4K.
Ah.
GG.
I also realized if you hit an active trigger,
Yeah, bumps.
while
It
they
bumps.
more,
Yeah.
it bumps your smaller parts to even more. So you
Well, that's
Well,
the
you
thing.
just-
block them.
You just don't choose a smaller one.
Yeah, remember, life triggers are optional.
Oh
you
yeah,
don't
it
have
is
to use
also
it,
an
true.
optional trigger.
That is true. But yeah, this was a great showcase of the Leafa deck. We were in Alfheim for the entirety of this
Alfheim.
video. We will be back in Toronto soon. But I hope you guys enjoyed.